Welcome to the series where I test out money-making methods from the OSRS Wiki. Feel free to leave suggestions on which moneymaker you'd like to see next. And also, if you didn't already know, I have a nice playlist that I've created that has all of the previous moneymakers that I've already tried, so go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. With that being said, let's get into the video. So for today's video, I thought we'd go ahead and check out collecting climbing boots. Now this was requested quite some time ago, and I've finally come around to do it, so yeah. Keep in mind that I get a lot of recommendations from people who want to see their moneymaker done, so it does take quite a while to get to all of them, but eventually I do end up getting to them. Now when I first saw this moneymaker, I thought it was a pretty neat one considering that the requirements aren't too high. Now you do need completion of the Death Plateau quest, and besides that, some weight reducing clothing will help, and a small amount of cash to actually buy the boots and buy some other jewelry that you can use to teleport around. Now you won't be getting any XP for any skills, but again, this is some pretty decent money and the requirements aren't too high, so it's pretty nice. As far as how much effort you need to put towards this, I'd say it's a moderate amount considering you do have to be constantly clicking the spacebar and the 1 key to buy the boots, but besides that, it's not too bad. Now as for the gear setup that I decided to bring, I'm bringing my full graceful and my max cape. The max cape has some nice teleports on there that I will be using in place of the dueling ring and the games necklace. Now I also brought the ring that you get for completing the Lumbridge and Draenor Elite Diary, just in case I needed some extra stamina boosts in place of stamina potions, but throughout this 1 hour I actually didn't have to use a single stamina boost, since when you're buying the boots you do regain energy, and I guess depending on how high your agility is, you'll gain more energy there. So for your account, depending on your agility level, you might need to bring staminas and energy potions, but you'll just have to test it out to see what works best for you. And of course, the other item in our inventory is the cash stack. Now I won't be bringing the entire cash stack for this because it's actually better to bring the exact amount you need, which is 336. By bringing this amount, you're able to get a full inventory of boots instead of having to sacrifice one to hold the entire cash stack. Now as for getting there, I am using my max cape to get to the Warriors Guild, but as for you, you can definitely use the games necklace to teleport to Berthorpe. Now I tested the speeds between the two, being the Warriors Guild and Berthorpe, and using the Warriors Guild is slightly faster. It's less than a second difference, and it might change depending on what spot you get teleported to. I'm not exactly sure if you get teleported to the exact same spot every time. Also, originally I was going to teleport to my player-owned house and use the games necklace from there, as I would drink from the rejuvenation pool for the stamina, but after I found out that the stamina is always at 100 pretty much, I didn't need to go to the POH and I just opted to bank at the crafting guild, which for you, you can definitely use the Ring of Dueling to teleport to Castle Wars and bank there. So with my method, I'm saving a little bit of money on the jewelry that I don't have to buy, and it's also a little bit faster, but again, it's not much faster than using the jewelry. Now as for the method on how to do this moneymaker, it's very simple. All we are going to be doing is bringing our stack of 336 coins, buying all the boots we can from this NPC right here, banking at the crafting guild, and then repeating the process all over again. As I stated earlier, there really isn't too much effort to be put forth towards this moneymaker, but it's not exactly the most engaging content, so you can get bored fairly easily. I definitely recommend watching something on the side or listening to music like I did, because yeah, this can get boring pretty quickly. Now as I was here repeatedly clicking the spacebar and the 1 key, I couldn't help but think of a bunch of random thoughts here in this area. I don't know, maybe it was my body's way or my mind's way of trying to keep me sane here. But yeah, I was thinking of this sort of like whenever you're charging glories in the wilderness, you know how you have a chance to get that super rare amulet of eternal glory that's worth a lot. I was wondering if maybe if you're here buying these boots for a long period of time, maybe there's like a rare chance that you can get like a different pair of boots. And at first I was thinking something like primordials, but I'm like, no, that'd be extremely broken. So maybe just some boots, some regular climbing boots G. I mean, those aren't too expensive, and that could be a nice little thing to get while you're here. Or who knows, maybe even some sort of boots pet, a pair of boots that just follows you around. That could be pretty cool too. I was also wondering where he gets all of these boots that he sells to everybody. I mean, after this hour I was, you know, I had bought hundreds of boots, and I just was wondering where he stores all of them here. He doesn't have a very big house, so yeah, that was a little fishy. Also, are all the boots just one size? Does everyone in RuneScape have like the same size foot? That's another thing I was thinking about. But then I remembered that whenever you're customizing your character, there's like 2 options for feet. So maybe there's 2 different shoe sizes in RuneScape? I don't know. I guess we can just chalk it all up to magic. I was also thinking about how nice it would be if there was a shortcut from the Warriors Guild straight to his house, because there's a really nice spot, as you can see on the bottom right, where, I mean, if there was like some sort of like rock slide that you could climb up or something, that would be pretty nice, and maybe make it some sort of like elite diary reward or like a hard diary reward. And speaking of the Warriors Guild and shortcuts, there was a dragon impling that appeared towards the end of the video, and it was actually towards the Warriors Guild. And I was debating going and trying to get it, but it was pretty far away, and I'm pretty sure by the time I teleported back to the Warriors Guild and made my way around the back of it, it would probably have been gone. But I did check after I was done with the video and I couldn't find him, so maybe someone else got lucky and got away with the dragon imp. But back to the topic at hand, these climbing boots are very popular for, I'd say, I guess low level training. They're not very expensive, and they're also used in PKing since they are very cheap boots, and they have some pretty decent stats. And also some nice little history on these climbing boots. There was like a whole big, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like a scandal or something back in the day, where the price of climbing boots just soared for whatever reason. I think they were, of course, you can get them for 12 coins here from this NPC, and I think Jagex raised the price of climbing boots to like 75,000 coins, so the people who had like hundreds or maybe even thousands of these very cheap boots in their bank were suddenly rich. And a lot of people think that it was like some sort of inside job, and who knows, it might have well been. It's a very weird situation. I don't know too much about it, again, because I don't think I was playing during this time, but still, it's a nice little interesting fact. If somebody who knows more about this event, or maybe even made a little bit of money off of this event, then feel free to say so in the comments. And while these boots aren't as expensive as they used to be, and they probably won't ever get there again, there is some pretty nice margins on these boots, as you'll see later whenever I try to sell them off. So even if you don't want to do this particular moneymaker, maybe you can just make some money flipping the item itself, because again, there are some fairly decent margins on these boots. And with that being said, we have completed our 1 hour of buying these climbing boots. I did get one towards the end, as you saw there, and we managed to buy a total of 561, so definitely not the most efficient, considering that the wikis show that you can buy, I think it was up to 650. But we can now go ahead and head over to the GE and sell off these boots. I'm going to put them in there for 708, which is the lower end of the margin as shown here. But if you want to make more money, then you can definitely put them in there for, at this time, you could have put them in there for 852 and they would have eventually sold. Especially when you see here how a lot of them instantly sold whenever I put this offer in, so yeah. And pay no attention to the very expensive climbing boots that I am selling. Those are just the ones that I had in my bank before I started the video, and I didn't want them to get mixed in. But yeah, after selling everything off, we managed to make around 425,000 GP, so definitely not a bad moneymaker when you consider the requirements. So if we take the cost of supplies, which was the money that we spent on the boots, it is 6,732 GP. Subtract that from the total amount of money that we made, which was 425,881 GP. We get a grand total profit of 419,149 GP. And when we compare that to the wiki's estimation, that is pretty close to the profit that was shown there. And that is with us selling a whole lot less than what they got there. So if you are more efficient than me, which isn't hard by any means, you can definitely make more money than I did. Here's also a picture of an item that is searchable in the Grand Exchange. It is the rock climbing boots, and again, this was for the whole boot scandal that went on all those years ago. It's not an item that you can actually buy. It was just put there to, well, as it shows in the description, to troll. So a neat little item there. I just want to say thanks for checking out the video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and possibly a subscription. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next episode.